All right, welcome everybody. This is Baby and the Boomer, episode 2. I am your host, Scotty Lerman.
And I'm the Boomer, Mike Neal.
Awesome. Well, like I said, the first ever episode 2, and we are very happy to be here. And first, we just wanted to shout out everybody watching, everybody listening. We really appreciate it. We couldn't do it without you guys. And last week we had about 2,200 or more watch the video, so that's awesome. Thank you everybody that liked the page, that shared it, told your friends about it. That really means a lot to us. So that's really cool. Thank you so much for that.
Yeah, it's an honor. It's an honor. We were overwhelmed with the response to the show, and we're going to keep making it bigger and bigger and better every time.
Absolutely. I can't wait. All right. So like I said, we had a lot of people share. So we also have a couple T-shirts that we want to give out. So the first one we're going to give out to Tony Dupree. Tony is a big fan of the show from the very beginning, and he actually gave us a little shout out in a public forum. It was probably like 40 people that
30 or 40 people or more.
So that's great. If you want to do that, you get a T-shirt. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So he liked and shared and gave us a public PR throw out to a big gathering of people. And so we really appreciate that.
All right. So then we also have the second T-shirt, and that is going to be
to Katie Jett of Powell, Tennessee, or as they say in East Tennessee, out Powell. And she is going to she's already got her T-shirt coming, as a matter of fact. So, Katie, you should get that tomorrow in your regular mail. Thank you for liking and sharing both our page and the video. So what we want you to do, most of you who are with us tonight, you've already liked and shared the Facebook page. So when we post episode 2 tonight, tomorrow, like that and share it, and you'll be in the drawing and in the running for another one of these Baby the Boomer T-shirts. So you see it right here. The introduction to the Baby the Boomer T-shirt, although on me, because my stomach's kind of big, it's like Baby the Boomer. So, but, you know, it'll look good on you. It'll look, less good on me because of what I'm working with.
There you go. So speaking of these T-shirts, and a lot of people have mentioned the set has looked really good. So we wanted to shout out Twine Graphics.
Yeah.
People have asked where the set looks great. The T-shirts are awesome. Where'd you get it? Twine. That's really the best place to get this stuff. And we've kind of developed a really cool relationship with them, and they do really good work for us. So that's going to be our first real sponsor, I guess, would be Twine Graphics.
Yeah, John Bond, thank you so much for being our first sponsor of our show. His team at Twine Graphics, they turned around everything that you see here, our background, our tabletop, are these T-shirts quickly at a great price and at super high quality.
Yeah.
So for us, everything that we do, we want to be first-rate professional. And so we weren't going to compromise. And so when I asked, where do you go and get this type of quality? Everybody locally here in Franklin, Tennessee said Twine Graphics, and they weren't wrong. So thanks to John and all of his crew. They're great. And thanks for being a sponsor of Baby the Boomer.
That's awesome. So thank you, Twine. And we'll go in. It's been about a week since we've been with you guys, and we'll go through maybe best and worst of the week. That's we're the first people ever to do a best and worst of the week. So, Mike, why don't you give us your best for the last week?
Best of, well, maybe I'll say this week. Yesterday was Tennessee TakeOver.
There you go.
On the SEC Network. So I got to watch Tennessee win ball game after ball game after ball game. I think because it was Tennessee TakeOver a full day, every game they've ever won in any sport over the last 5 years was shown, because I think it's something like 8 games in all sports combined. So it hasn't been a several few years, but at least I got to see all of them on Tennessee TakeOver and get really excited about this year.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's not fair. Man, I'm sure they have a good women's volleyball team, something like that.
No,
a bunch of games.
No, we don't.
Okay, great.
They're terrible.
All right, I'll get my best of the week, as I got my similar college football. I got my Michigan preview magazine from MGO Blog. It's about 90 to 100 pages and has all the insights, all the position players, the schedule, and really breaking down each opponent and everything like that. So I've started getting into that, and it's just the greatest. It was like Christmas morning opening that package up.
You're getting all college football nerdy, aren't you?
Oh, it's already have the band music going in the car. I got it. I'm
with the band music
out.
Again.
Yeah,
we already had the conversation last week. People that are playing their college team's band music in the car
have a problem.
They're sick.
Yeah.
Now, here's the difference. I get it's football time in Tennessee, so that's my big magazine that I wait for every year. Comes out end of May, 1st of June. But I go right to where are they going to pick Tennessee?
Yep.
And I read about Peyton Manning, what he's doing now or whatever. You study and memorize all numbers, facts, and figures and drink it in.
I play like the director in the car, like I've got the stick and everything like that.
You are way into it. You are way into it.
What was your worst of the week last week?
There's no question. This is the worst of the week. A boomer is off Diet Coke. Yeah,
well, if I had a breaking news button, we would play it.
Yeah, I am a Diet Coke addict. And when I say addict, I don't mean that in kind of a throwaway type of term. I drink about 178 ounces of Diet Coke in a day. And so every few years I'll say, I'm going to stop it. And so I've decided to stop it. Mm-hmm. Now, the last time I did that was about 3 years ago. And after about 3 days, I was apprehended by the police running down the street naked with a loaded handgun in my hands, screaming Diet Pepsi is the devil.
I don't feel well about my safety.
No, you're not safe. I mean, you could set me off at almost anything, and I would shank you in the kidneys with a prison shiv that I have keistered.
This went from Baby and the Boomer to Prison Break.
Yeah, I'm telling you. But so the worst of the week is me detoxing from Diet Coke because this will be entertaining for you. I would watch Baby and the Boomer weekly now just to see what could happen.
Yeah.
Because it may just be the Boomer next because the Boomer may snap on the baby. But it will be good. It'll be good television. It will be bad detoxing.
Yeah. Great Facebook Live viewing right there.
So about you, what's your worst of the week?
My worst of the week, it was going to be the number one tight end in the country picking Ohio State to go play for a high school offense, but we won't go into that. It was actually yesterday we did a field day at work, and we had a relay race, and the last leg of the relay was dizzy bat. And I went around, I had to go around 10 times. And I think by about spin 3, I knew I was going to fall. And by spin 8, I fully regretted it. And then at spin 10, I bat flipped and then just head first into the grass. And I got a little grass stain on my shirt. And then it took me a second to get my bearings and then had my 40-yard dash that I had to complete. And we lost.
Now, this is the ultimate boomer millennial moment. Baby boomers do not have field day.
What?
Elementary school children have field day, and millennials at work have field day. Children play dizzy bat. Grown-ups don't play dizzy bat. I'm sure your organization made tons of money yesterday having field day while I was working helping M1 in the economic flow of money around the world.
I don't know.
Oh my gosh, this is hilarious.
No, we did it on our break. We went on our break and we went outside. And
how long do you have as a break to have a field day?
We did it as we staggered it out. So you were only down for, 15, 20 minutes. Hey, I love it. It's a great way to build engagement, and it was really fun.
Yes, and I work through my break. I don't have field day.
That's illegal. You can't work through your break.
I can, and I do.
Speaking
I'm about making money.
Yeah, that's right. Speaking of, I hit the breaking news button. We actually do have somewhat breaking news. I don't know if you guys saw this already, but Hugh Freeze has resigned from the Ole Miss University or University of Mississippi, whatever it is.
This is not a joke.
This is not a joke. This is actually
this
real.
Really
this
just
real
broke.
Breaking news. So Ole Miss, he was 39-25 in his 5-year tenure. He had 21 charges of misconduct by the NCAA, including the infamous Laramie Tunsil NFL draft night fiasco with the gas mask and all of the marijuana, if you will. And so that was released draft night. That was last year. You should check that out if you haven't heard about that. And he also had a school-imposed 1-year postseason ban, and just a lot more kind of going on there probably that we haven't even uncovered yet. So kind of surprising. Hugh Freeze, we thought was just going to ride it out, but Ole Miss now has to make a hiring change. About probably 2 weeks before the start of fall practice.
Yeah, this is as bad a situation as you could possibly have. My friend Mike McCafferty posted on the Baby the Boomer site last week when we did our SEC West preview and said that people used to talk about sanctions as being SMU bad. Is this going to be SMU bad? And he said, that's going to be passé now. Now we're going to say, is it going to be Ole Miss bad? Yeah. And that's the bottom line. And this is absolute hubris on display. This is a situation where cheating was going on. It was known, at least at the assistant athletic director level, who was involved in paying of players. That we have that audio recording of such. We have a coach who is saying nothing is going on when everyone with eyes and ears can see that you're recruiting top-rated classes to Ole Miss, and it stunk to high heaven. And then when the NCAA came in and came down, Ole Miss doubled down on the Hugh Freeze situation. It didn't say, for the betterment of the school, we think it would be better if you left. And so now we're at a point where Hugh Freeze, if he had any class, would have said, I'm going to resign for the betterment of the program, but he didn't. And so here's where we are today in the latter part of July, and camp is going to open in just a few days.
Yeah.
And these kids are going to go through a incredibly difficult season with an interim coach.
Yeah.
And Ole Miss is going to be on probation until Jesus comes back.
Yeah.
At least.
Speaking of when you said that classes that started being really good and smelling fishy,
right.
This is from Tom Van Haren. In 2012, they weren't in the top 25 in draft, in the class rankings for recruiting. Not in the top 25 2012. 2013, they're ranked number 5. So they made a jump that quick, which is actually pretty hard to do. Then they were 17, 19. In 2016, they were ranked 4. And now in 2018, they're unranked.
Right.
So just a whole mess going on in Ole Miss. And I'm assuming the interim coach will probably be like offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, something like that's going on, who probably has as much mud on his hands as Hugh Freeze did.
Well, it's going to be interesting because you're in a situation here at Ole Miss where I believe the money people at Ole Miss were willing to stick with Hugh Freeze.
Yeah.
I mentioned this in the SEC West preview for those of you that read the blog on the Baby the Boomer Facebook page this week. I mentioned this, that Ole Miss money people seem to be okay with Hugh Freeze and say, we didn't win without him, and we may be on probation, but at least we're going to win.
Yeah.
But apparently either another shoe is about to fall that we don't know about, or the NCAA said, look, you know what? We're not going to give you that choice anymore. And so you can get rid of him, or we're going to bury you forever.
Yeah.
And my guess is that's probably what happened.
That's probably what
Seeing what I saw, what you saw, which is they're not going to really do anything about Hugh Freeze. The NCAA probably came in and said, look, you can have it one of two ways.
Yeah.
You can let him resign, or we are going to destroy Ole Miss, and there will be nothing left but a pretty campus.
I'm pretty sure there's going to be more to come. I think there's definitely going to be way more out there that we haven't even seen yet with Ole Miss.
Absolutely. So goodbye, Ole Miss. It was a short, passionate affair. Enjoy those 2 wins over Alabama, because you're going to pay for them between now and the end of time.
Yep. It's going to be rough. So Ole Miss, we'll see if it's much like the SMU situation. I wonder how, you can only guess how deep this is really going to go. No one really has an idea besides those that are really involved.
Well, let's remember, it's also multiple programs. I believe the girls' track program was also being investigated. Wow. So apparently there's multiple programs. And so somebody can check me if I'm wrong, if somebody is up to speed on Ole Miss. But I believe there were other teams there at Ole Miss that were part of this investigation.
Yeah.
Just corruption on every level.
Lots and Eric said the Ole Miss is pretty much run by boosters who can really, they'll just turn a blind eye. If they like what they see, whatever the cost is, we'll keep them. And probably the NCAA said, absolutely not.
Yeah. And if you want to argue against what he said, good luck. Yeah. I don't know where your evidence is going to be.
Yeah. So we'll go back to college football. Right now we'll move into a segment. We'll go back to fantasy football a little bit, as that is as much fun to talk about. And we'll talk about maybe not what we were good at like we did last week, but maybe some of our mistakes. So we'll go into our biggest fantasy football mistakes. And Mike, I know you have a pretty good story regarding your worst fantasy football mistake.
Yeah. So for all my Atlanta friends in the SCFL, which was the one league I always played in because I'm a one league faithful guy. About 2002, Trent Green. Now, how old were you in 2002?
2002, I was 9.
Great. Okay, so back in 2002, when you were 9, and I was like almost as old as I am now. I don't think I was actually younger than I am right now. So I drafted Trent Green, who was projected to have a breakout year in the first round.
I still don't have any recollection of who Trent Green is.
If you were to look up Trent Green on Facebook or on the web, what you would see is the iconic picture of Trent Green laying on the field at the Washington Redskins stadium in a stretcher, completely mangled. And he was, I think he lasted a game, but he was never really going to be good. Here was my conundrum. I was drafting 6th or 7th. All the quarterbacks that were going to be good were gone. It's a quarterback-dominant league. He was a sleeper. I made a stupid mistake.
Eddie George Eddie George wasn't there?
I made a stupid mistake, okay? I'm admitting it. So here's the funny part of the story, though. The funny part of the story is my son, Jake, who at this time is 9 years old, your same age,
Yep.
Comes downstairs where we're having Draft Central in my home. And this is back in the days when you didn't have everything online. What you had it on the wall with little stickers.
Yeah. The board.
And so Jake walks downstairs to analyze everybody's draft, and he looks at my number one choice, and in front of all my friends says, Trent Green? Are you serious? You drafted Trent Green in the first round? What is wrong with you?
I would have said the same thing.
Oh, my gosh. Well, so everybody now is rolling on the floor laughing that my 9-year-old is mocking my draft. And so I've been completely emasculated. I am white hot. You know, I want to be cool, but I'm so mad at my son. I want to take him and give him to foster parents. I want to give this kid away. And so I'm just like, just go on. And so we've all calmed down. We've moved on to making fun of other things, as you do in the draft.
Yeah.
But about an hour and a half later, after the draft is over, we're sitting around the kitchen table now, me and a couple of guys. And Jake just walks over to the kitchen table and just looks at me and does this. Just the most abject look of disgust, and just says, Trent Green, and walks away. And then it starts all over again. So the icon for my team for years was Trent Green in a stretcher.
Man.
So good luck topping that.
Yeah,
you won't.
I won't,
because I believe I made the most egregious error in the history of fantasy footballdom. And so you can all feel better about yourself now. You may have made stupid mistakes in your life, but you didn't draft Trent Green in the first round.
Your 9-year-old definitely knew more than about fantasy football.
Thank you for doubling down on that.
In that moment.
I'm just working through that, and you have to kind of throw that back out.
Go back to therapy for that one.
Okay. You're a great friend.
I'll go with my biggest draft mistake. It's not as big as that, but pretty much every time I sit Larry Fitzgerald. I've had him on my team a few times. He's a nice mid-round pick. You know he's going to get a bunch of catches and very reliable, very rarely gets injured. But every time I think, you know, somebody else is going to be a little bit better, I'll sit Larry Fitzgerald. Larry Fitzgerald, 20 points every time. So every single time that I sat Larry Fitzgerald, that's got to be my worst fantasy football mistake.
Murphy's Law as it is associated with Larry Fitzgerald.
Yeah.
So we'll call it Fitzgerald's Law.
Fitzgerald's Law. That sounds right. That even sounds scientific.
And so Fitzgerald, proud graduate of the University of Phoenix, by the way.
He says he is. Master's?
He says he is.
Did he get his master's there?
I don't know. But I mean, he advertised and said, I graduated from the University of Phoenix. I don't think he actually graduated from Pittsburgh.
No.
I don't know.
Man, I don't know.
I just see the commercials where he says, I'm a proud graduate of the University of Phoenix, so maybe he's got a master's or a PhD.
He might get his master's from there. He's a smart guy.
Well, he's smarter than you are because he would
Yeah.
know to play him.
Yeah. Yeah, he would know to play himself in fantasy, and I would not play him.
So now this is from now on known as Fitzgerald's Law.
Fitzgerald, I like that. That's pretty good.
And I love your remediation. Just don't draft him.
Yeah, this year I'm not. If he's on the board, I'm not going to keep him. I do have a keeper league. I'm not keeping Larry Fitzgerald, and I'm not. I'm. You know what? I don't keep Larry Fitzgerald, and he'll be like number 1 wide receiver this year. No, I'm not going to draft him. I'm going to let him go, and I'm not going to draft him. As tempting as it is, I can't do it to myself because it's so annoying every week to do not sit him and start him. It's too much.
I think you should call his agent and let him know what you're up to, and see if you can get a kickback. Because his stats are going to go nuts if you don't draft him.
Yeah, I think they'd be interested in that.
I would do that. Idea. Money's tight.
Money's tight, man. That's true. So we'll go back into college football. Before we do that, we did get another sponsor, which is awesome. And we actually grouped up with Team Leads Marketing.
Lead Hounds Marketing.
No way.
Yeah, absolutely. You could not have been more wrong. And so if you're Team Leads Marketing and you want to be a sponsor, we don't know who you are.
No free ads.
Give us a call.
Lead Hounds Marketing.
Because we will sell ourselves.
I'm really sorry.
So Leads Hound Marketing, we've blown up on social media. Social media marketing is how you get leads and how you get interest out. In my business that I've run for 20 years now, I'm heavily invested in social media. And so I get so many leads through social media, quality leads that I can close. And so Leads Hound Marketing is incredible. They're super talented at utilizing Facebook and email generation to get you leads that people would never know about you except through this medium. Yep. They're experts. They walk you through every step of the way. They're reasonably priced. It's leadhoundsmarketing.com, leadhoundsmarketing.com. And you need to check them out. Great guys, and they do a great job.
Yeah, they're really helping us out. All right, so like I said, moving back into college football, this is a topic suggested to us by my buddy Braden Peters. It's going to be the college football playoff expansion. Basically, whether or not they should really do it. And, you know, for myself, my opinion of this is I think 4 teams is the perfect amount. I think you'll get the 4 best teams in there, and I think for the past 3 years, the best team has won the national championship. I really think that you don't need any more teams going in. If you do it to 6, then you're going to be fighting about the 2 and the 3, whoever gets the bye week, and then you move to 8, and it just devalues the whole regular season. And in the regular season in college football is the best regular season in all of sports. I really think – I know it's probably already in the contract for it to go to 8 games, but I really love the debates between 4 and 5 and who should get it. And I think whoever was going to play Clemson in that 3 spot or the 4 spot was going to lose anyway, Ohio State or Penn State, because like you won the SEC Big Ten argument last week. So I really think they should just stick it to 4 teams. That is just, it doesn't need to go to 8 because then you're just going to lose the value of the regular season.
I agree with 2 things you said in that 3-minute screed of yours, anti college football expansion. 1, college football regular season is the most important regular season of all the sports. Mm-hmm. And I believe that the best team has won each year. We've had the college football playoff. But that being said, the rest of your arguments, they don't have any value to me. Let me tell you why. Number 1, we're already arguing about who is 5 and who is 4, so you've already got that argument.
For the 2 and the 3.
Well, who gets in and who doesn't get in?
Yeah.
You've already got the argument about who gets in and who doesn't get in.
I don't think we're not gonna get the 9 and the 8 argument. I think, well, you might just a little bit, but the 9 really, I don't think that's going to be as big. I think the big argument.
If you're number 9, it is.
Yeah, that's true. Well, if you're number 9, I feel like if you move it to 8 teams, my really big argument with that is that's a lot of games, and you would either you'd have to put it off, or you'd have to start it either before Christmas, or you would have to push it out into the end of the football season, college football season, in late January.
Right. So here's my contention: it doesn't need to be 8 teams; it needs to be 6 teams. And I'll lay this out. So the break between the championship games and the bowl games and the playoff games is too long. It's too long. The players are getting back out of shape. It's hard to get them back into shape. They're in playing shape. So let's move forward in December with 6 teams. You have 2 teams that get a bye. Number 1 and number 2 get a bye. 3, 4, 5, and 6 play each other. Mm-hmm. And then the winners then play 1 and 2. So it's literally one extra game. And what you've done is if you've expanded it, you've brought in more money. Now, here's what I would do with the extra game. All the proceeds have to go into a concussion fund for college athletes.
Yeah.
And this is a problem. Now, again, well, then why would you have them play one more game? Listen, that argument does not hold water with me. One more game is not going to change dramatically the concussion landscape. But all the money would not go into the pockets of the presidents of the school,
the president of the NCAA.
The president of the NCAA. It would go back to a players fund because the concussion situation is it's going to be massive in a few years.
Yeah.
It's going to be massive. And so I think it's very important that you do something good with that money. But what you have now is you have this. You've got the 5 Power 5 conference champions winning. So there's no debate on who gets in or who doesn't get in now, 1 through 5. Positioning we could debate, but we've already got that debate now.
Yeah.
So, yes, I am calling the Big 12 a Power 5 conference. So it won't be for long. Now, if you want to know why I think that, go to the Facebook page, Baby and the Boomer, and read yesterday's blog post on the Big 12 preview, and you'll get the background there on what's happening with the Big 12 and why I think the Big 12 is on life support. And we're just too polite to want to talk about it in public while it's still around and it might hear us.
Yep.
But the bottom line is right now we have 5 major conferences. The conference winners win, and then we have an at-large team. That at-large team could be somebody like a Penn State last year who got jobbed out of the playoffs. I don't want to hear it right now. You'll have your turn. Or a non-Power 5 school that ends up ranked in the top 10, which would create a lot of excitement for these other schools like Boise State and BYU and some other schools like that. So I think it would be nothing but more football, which who does not want more football? I know you're one of the people that think maybe there's too many bowl games, right?
Yeah, there's too many bowl games.
Would you make that case? Because I want to crush that. But go ahead, give it a shot.
There's too many. 5 and 7 teams don't need a bowl game. There doesn't need to be a Beef O'Brady's Bowl in the middle of Louisiana.
That really is a thing.
No, it really is. In UL Monroe for a bowl game. Nobody goes to those games. There's only like 20,000 people in the stands. And really, I mean, other than kids like missing time, either like on a family, like whatever they're doing for the holidays, they go to a bowl game and they're 5 and 7 and then nobody really watches them and they're on ESPN2 on a Tuesday at noon. And that, like, you can watch them, and I do get it, but by that point, I don't want football as much as I want football right now. Now, if the Beef O'Brady's Bowl was happening right now and they did it in the middle of the summer, and it was, USF and Texas El Paso, I'd probably watch it.
Right. And if it was USF or Texas El Paso, and they were actually playing at their stadium, players would be bursting into flames.
That's true.
They would be igniting right now in 110-degree heat. So we'd have more to worry about than concussions.
They go play in Canada.
Let me explain why there's not too many college bowl games. Because every college bowl game beats every single thing it's against on television every single game. The Detroit Bowl, the Big Apple Bowl, or the Toilet Bowl, whatever they're playing, it wins its time slot over everything else on cable. Yeah. People are watching it. The players want to play in the bowl games. The coaches want to go to the bowl games. The fans want to watch their team. So I understand 5 and 7 teams, they're not even winning teams.
Yeah.
But to me, that doesn't argue against there's too many bowl games because the market dictates whether there's too many bowl games, and the market says there's not too many bowl games.
I'm not going to be like mad if if they don't take away bowl games. I think if they
I'm
keep on adding them and everybody, no matter who you are, you get a bowl game. Yeah, I think that'll be a little bit ridiculous. But if they just leave it as is, that's fine. And that's also fine for a 14 playoff. They can leave it at that for a little while. I think you can leave it at that for a long time. We've only been doing it for 3 years. I say leave the 14 playoff, let it run its course. I think it's pretty good, actually. It makes the regular season that much better. And eventually, move into an 18 playoff in a while. And then you would get those home field advantages. That would be really great to see, a bowl game or not a bowl game, but the first round of the playoffs in Ann Arbor, and it's December and it's snowing. That would be pretty cool. I'd like to see that. Less games in NFL stadiums. I think that would also be helpful because it really takes the atmosphere out. The same thing when you do college basketball games in an NBA arena or even the NFL arena when they do it in Dallas.
Right.
So I would do that. Yeah, I would do that first round, make it in an actual home field. Eric said that earlier. I think that's a great idea. But do that later. We don't need to change a 14 playoff after 3 years. I think it's pretty great. It's better than the BCS. I would leave it at 4 teams for now. It doesn't need to be changed just yet.
Well, I think you're going to be very happy because they're not going to change it for a while. They've already said they're not going to change it for a while. But it is going to change because greed runs everything, unfortunately, and money is going to dictate that college playoff is going to be expanded. I'm just telling you that right now because more money is better than less money in college football, according to the NCAA, who says we should have money in college football, but how much are you going to pay us for the rights to broadcast it? Oh, yeah, we want more than that.
Yeah.
So let's understand. There's nothing pure about this anymore. So they're going to expand it because they're going to want more money. My argument is at least let's make the money worth something back to the players rather than just back into the NCAA, back into the hands of athletic departments. I love the idea. Who suggested the idea of having the games at home?
Eric Spaniard. Yeah.
Eric Spaniard, you're a genius, sir.
Yeah.
And Eric, your last name?
Spaniard. Like Cocker
Spaniard.
Yeah.
Like Cocker Spaniard?
Yeah, Spaniel, but it's Spaniard.
Then it's not like Spaniel at all. It's just Spaniard.
But that
doesn't help.
Letters. Okay.
All right, Eric, your name is unpronounceable. I recommend you change it because that's a really.
Just call him Pastor Eric.
Okay, Pastor Eric. That's probably I'm going to call you Pastor Eric. That is a great idea. You're very smart with a less than awesome last name, but you're a very smart guy because the games are too expensive for both fan bases to travel to. The loyal fan bases, it's just money people going, and so you lose the atmosphere. People that have lots of money can go to these games at University of Phoenix Stadium. But if you played them at a home field, at least one of the teams then has a local game to go to, driving distance, and the other team's going to travel anyway, whether it's at University of Phoenix Stadium or in Tuscaloosa. And so it will create some excitement, and you'll have earned the right to be the home team.
There you go.
Right? So I love that idea. But again, I'm totally about expanding it to 6. My idea is great. Takes one more game. You got 2 teams on a bye. This needs to be done yesterday. I should be college football czar. I should be able to just run everything because I know more about it than other people.
That is another debate. There absolutely needs to be a college football commissioner? Because now there really isn't anybody.
I'm available.
Just the president of the NCAA, who's like top 5 worst people on the planet. So we need a college football.
Top 5 worst people on the planet.
He is awful.
Kim Jong-un. Let's start running a list.
He doesn't have anything. Okay, Mark Emmerick is a terrible, terrible person.
Okay, I don't know about him. I've never met him. I don't know him individually.
Bad guy.
But I could think of like some world dictators that might, mass murderers, whoever's the head of ISIS. Okay.
There you go.
Maybe it's number 5. All right. But yeah, we do need a college football czar, and we're going to have one. This is another thing that's going to happen. The Power 5 teams are going to break away from the NCAA. I don't know why they haven't yet. It's a joke that they're regulated the way they are. They can band together and negotiate much better deals on their own. They drive everything. They drive all the money. And this is going to happen, and it's just going to take a match to set this off because it's already a powder keg. And these Power 5 schools having to accommodate the needs of schools like Weber State and others that are playing football. And God bless them. I'm glad you've got a football team there at Weber State, but it's just not the same thing. And so that's going to happen. You are going to have a college football czar. It'll be like a commissioner of a conference, but it'll be over all of those Power 5 teams.
Yeah.
And the NCAA will then regulate everybody that's left.
They really need to. And apparently that's not even what Eric wanted. I just read. He wants each one being like, so the 3 versus 8 the 1 versus 8. That's like the Capital One Bowl, and they can move it down. But I like the better idea of actually doing the playoff games, maybe the first round, just do them at the home field,
right,
and make sure that those 4.
So Eric, I completely reject your idea. I think that's a terrible idea to replace the bowl games with that. I would never do that. I think the idea that we thought you brought up is great. And so I would just take credit for it and run with it because I think that's a much better idea than your really bad idea that you just threw out.
Eric Spanier.
Eric Spaniel.
I don't know why I said Spaniel.
Well, that's all I'll be able to remember.
That's what I thought of when I thought of it. Okay. We'll move out of that. Let us know what you think. I think some people put those in the comments, so we'll get to those later. But we'll go into another top 5 for you here like we did last week. This one's going to be the top 5 home field advantages, basically in all sports. I stuck with U.S. because I know soccer in Europe is just crazy, and there's a lot going on, and I couldn't even wrap my head around that. So I did top 5 in the U.S. You did go across the pond for one.
Yes, I did.
So
another continental.
Oh, okay, yeah, continental. All right, so we'll go off and we'll do top 5. Mike, go with your number 5.
We'll go with top 5. Number 5 is Anfield Stadium, Liverpool Football Club's, Liverpool SC's home field. The most passionate fans, I believe, in all of soccer. They have an anthem they sing, "You'll Never Walk Alone." It's a family of 54,000 crazed maniacs supporting their team. It doesn't matter if they win or lose. It's their family. This soccer team or football club is their family.
Yeah.
And they will tear apart anyone who tries to harm their family.
Yeah.
And so it's just an incredible atmosphere. I've only seen it on television. Now, what I'll tell you is I'm really excited. I'm going to go in just a few weeks to London, and I'm going to watch Chelsea versus Burnley in the season opener of the Premier League. I'm going to get to watch Chelsea race the Premier League flag at their home opener. It's going to be I'm a Chelsea fan. It's going to be one of the great bucket list moments in my life. I can't wait for that. Love Premier League soccer, but Liverpool, number 5. Yeah. How about your number 5?
My number 5. You're not going to take me to the game?
I'm not going to take you to the game because I don't want to travel with you there.
Yeah, that makes
and
sense.
I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
I was going to say it's very expensive and go to a long explanation.
You just don't want to go.
An hour a week is enough.
That's very kind.
Don't you think?
That's very kind of you to say.
Well, I just think it's enough. If we go over that now, we're going to be on each other's nerves.
Yeah.
It's entertaining for an hour. After that, it's just going to be bothersome.
All right. We'll go number 5, kind of a pretty popular one. It's going to be CenturyLink. That's where the Seattle Seahawks play. That's a great one. They have had Sunday Night Football has basically, or the NFL has basically said, you can't do a lot, or you can't do like one or more than one Sunday night games or Monday night games in Seattle at home because it's too much of a home field advantage.
Yeah.
It's just a crazy scene whenever games are on there. If the game's on in Seattle, I always try to tune in because that is just a really, really awesome scene.
There is no question about that. That is inarguable. Do you recall the Green Bay Seattle home opener about 3 years ago?
The refs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, when this crowd, I think, actually scared the ref into making a call that prevented Green Bay from scoring a clear touchdown, which would have won the game for Green Bay.
Yeah.
Those fans are rabid. They're everything that you want your football fans to be.
Yeah.
They're intimidating. They intimidate the refs. They intimidate the other team, and it's hard to have a home field advantage with fans at a professional level.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, these guys are playing for money and they've seen a lot.
Yeah.
So to get intimidated by fans is really impressive. And so I think that's a great choice at number 5.
All right. And what's your number 4?
My number 4 is the same as your number 5. It's
All right.
CenturyLink Field. And we just talked about that with the
There you
Seahawks.
go.
And so that's my number 4. I just moved it up the list a little bit.
Speaking of scaring refs and getting calls, I'll go with Cameron Indoor for Duke. I think that is a rigged place to play a basketball game. It is absolutely insane. Michigan played there, I want to say like 2 or 3 years ago. I knew within the first minute that we weren't going to win that game.
Right.
It was egregious, and it's a great scene. I mean, it's crazy. I love that they do the student section that wraps around the front, and then the coaches the benches are on the other side, and it's just a really awesome scene. You know, most of the time that they're going to win there. I really like it when they lose and every team storms their home court whenever they can beat Duke. I think that's a really, really cool tradition.
You know, I think one of the great things about the Duke crowd is this. Almost every other mocking chant that a basketball team does was started by the Cameron Crazies.
Yeah.
You know, the one where they're introducing the team and everybody's got the newspaper in front of them.
Yeah.
And then they announce, you know, number 42, Jim Johnson, and they go, sucks.
Yeah.
You know, that has been copied by everybody. They are inventive in the way they mock and humiliate the team and intimidate them. How many people are in Cameron Indoor?
It's small. It's only like 7,500.
And that is what makes it great. And I commend Duke because the natural thing, they could sell out 18,000 seats in an arena, but they care more about their program than they do about just generating income. And I love Dick Vitale at Cameron Indoor Stadium playing against North Carolina.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh, that is great.
Dickie V is great.
Yeah.
All right, so that was my number 4. What is your number 3?
My number 3 is Lambeau Field.
Okay.
I've been to a game there. Just an incredible scene. I love Wisconsin, by the way. I love Scotty. Wisconsin is like the lost tribe of the South. You know, they talk about the lost tribe of Israel.
Yeah.
You know, they're the lost tribe of the South. These people are overweight. They eat fried cheese. They drink lots of beer, and they're crazy about football.
Yeah.
And so I think they're Southerners with bad accents.
Yeah, they have the bad accent.
Well, I think so. And so if I could just work with them a little bit. But I think what they did is somebody told them to head out on I-65, and they just went north rather than south.
Yeah.
Instead of winding up in Tennessee, they wound up in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
But anyway, so let me get into it. If you have the chance to go to Lambeau Field, please do this. If you love football, even if you don't love football, if you just love sports and spectacle, going to Lambeau Field is like going to a game at the University of Tennessee. Tailgating all day long. People saying, hey, where are you from? They hear your accent.
Yeah.
You're rooting for the Packers. Come over here. Have a brat.
Yeah.
Have a drink.
Some cheese curds.
Fried cheese.
Yeah.
And I did do that a lot.
Yeah.
And then in the game, it's bleachers. You don't have –
Oh, really?
it's bleachers like in Grant Field
Michigan,
at Georgia Tech.
Michigan Stadium's all bleachers.
Okay, so it's all bleachers. And so these bleachers are designed for about a 29-inch butt. And so when you stand up, you have to try to be the first one to sit back down, and they stand up all the time because it's like musical chairs. Because if you are not the first one down, and with my rear end, then you're out of luck.
Yeah, there you go.
But the crowd is great. I went to the Packers-Bears Sunday night football game.
Wow.
I think 42-0 against Jay Cutler. I think they sacked him 10 times.
Yeah.
He pulled himself out of the game. They were mocking him. They were laughing at him. I was laughing at him. It was incredible. Packers fans are the best pro football fans, bar none. And I love Wisconsin. I love everybody in Wisconsin. I can't wait to get back up there and eat fried cheese with you guys. Lambeau Field. I love it.
Wait, did you go when it was really, really cold?
Yes, it was so cold in the fourth quarter I could no longer feel my feet. And I had on thermal boots, and wool socks and another pair of socks.
Yeah.
But the problem is when you're from the South, your blood is very thin.
Yeah.
So they're up there, in swimsuits, and I cannot feel the extremities of my body.
Yeah.
Because they are tougher. This is why they won the war. This is why the North beat the South, because they are tougher people.
Yeah.
It's like winter time. We're not going to fight anymore.
I really think the cold played an advantage. My favorite thing about Lambeau is when it's really cold and you just see it's like green and yellow, and every now and then you'll see this little speck of orange.
Yeah.
You'll see this little speck because that's the coldest gear that they have is their hunting outfits.
Yep.
So it's this green and yellow, green, and then it's this little few specks of orange. Looks like Fruity Pebbles out there. That's a really nice sight. I'll go with my number 3, which is most people listening to this podcast would be pretty happy with, is Bridgestone Arena for the Preds. Mike was there for all those playoff games.
Let's go Preds.
That was real. I just loved watching those goal chant videos. The Preds lost. How many games did they lose at home?
I think they lost 2 games.
2 games at home the whole playoffs. It's just an incredible thing. They had the longest home winning streak in 28 years, something like that. I think that Bridgestone Arena just has that college vibe that we really love, and Bridgestone Arena brought it for the Predators, and just an awesome sight to see. It was getting national attention. People were sick of Nashville by the end of the month, but it was awesome to see, and I was really happy that I got to go to a few Predators games thanks to somebody, and it was really cool.
Yeah, well, it's a great home field advantage when the rest of the league hates you.
Yeah.
Right? Pittsburgh fans hated the attention Nashville was getting. Now, I did not put Bridgestone Arena in my top 5. I want to explain myself. No one is a bigger Preds fan than me. Yeah. No one. No one on the face of the earth is a bigger Preds fan than I am. Hockey fan from way back. By the way, if you follow me on Facebook, you saw me post a hockey card from 1972 from the Atlanta Flames, my idol, Phil Muir. But nobody's a bigger Preds fan than I am. But that atmosphere during the playoffs is not the same atmosphere as the other 41 games.
Yeah.
If you're going in December and they're playing Calgary, they have all the funny things that they do, and when they introduce the team and they'll say sucks, and the coach, he sucks too. But it's not like what you saw in the playoffs. It's not like way every game. So I disqualified Bridgestone Arena because it's not that way consistently.
Yeah.
But for the playoffs, I think I would put that number 1. I've never seen anything like it. People actually lost their hearing. I heard somebody on the radio say that they went to their audiologist and said that their hearing had been diagnosed as permanently damaged from going to the game.
They said the 130 decibels is like a jet engine from 100 feet away. They measured Bridgestone at 129.4.
Yeah.
So you're basically standing next to a jet engine,
right,
for 2.5 to 3 hours.
Right. There was only one louder crowd ever recorded. That was at the University of Kansas basketball.
There you go.
Yeah.
So that was my number 3. What is your number 2?
My number 2 is Cameron Indoor.
There you
go.
So
when I went off on Cameron Indoor, I've already said everything I want to say about that. Where that was your number 4, I had it up at number 2.
Yeah.
I think they just bring it every game and in a way that nobody else does.
Absolutely. Yeah. Cameron Indoor is pretty much unfair place to play.
Yep.
And I'll go with my number 1, and that is, or my number 2, I'm sorry. My number 2 is Bluebell Park. Most of you are like, what the heck is Bluebell Park? I've never heard of that before. It is the home of the Texas A&M Aggies baseball team. Now, you got to go to YouTube, and you got to type in Texas A&M baseball ball 5 chant. And it is one of the coolest things ever. Whenever a pitcher throws a walk, when he gets to the mound, they all chant ball 5, ball 5. And then when he throws another ball 6, ball 6. And they go all the way until he throws a strike. Now, it gets real loud. Every single person in the ballpark is chanting for you to throw another ball, and it throws them off crazy. It's a home field advantage like I've really never seen before.
I just can't imagine that not a single person who is watching this is going to go to YouTube and watch.
Do it. You should
YouTube.
do it.
Don't be goaded into it.
I'm going to post the link, and they're going to click on it.
And people won't even do it then. This is so ridiculous. A home field advantage for college baseball.
It's the best. It's one of the best advantages.
And so let's go back and redo it. And I want to name my number 5 as the crowd for the University of Georgia equestrian team, because those people really get out there and make a difference for those horses. I mean, okay, I know some of you like college baseball and some of you really like college baseball, but come on. We're talking Cameron Indoor Stadium. We're talking Anfield. We're talking Lambeau Field. And then tell me you weren't shocked when he said Bluebell, and you thought he was going to talk about ice cream. That was our newest sponsor, Bluebell Ice Cream.
I wish.
But he actually said Bluebell Park, and everybody collectively with me went, what the what?
Hey, it's good. It's a great advantage. All right, we'll go to our number 1, which happens to be the same thing. So I'll just put that out there. So our number 1 is Tiger Stadium, LSU. It's just a scary, scary place. If you're going to Baton Rouge and it's dark out, good luck, because you're not likely to make it out. It's just a super, super wild environment.
Yep.
And it's, I think I just gave it number 1 because I'm afraid of it, to be honest. And my dad and I are trying to go to every SEC football stadium over the course of how many years it takes. So we haven't gone to LSU yet. We're going to go to Texas A&M this fall, but we are really, when we buy those LSU tickets, we are absolutely going to make sure that it is a noon game, and we are not going to be there when it's dark out. We are hightailing it right out of Baton Rouge.
And you're going to wear LSU colors. You should. I mean, I don't care who they're playing.
No, yeah.
You need to do that.
I'll wear LSU colors.
So Tiger Stadium, no doubt. And I've been to most SEC stadiums. I've been to Florida Field, where I have been urinated on.
The swamp?
I've actually had that happen, yes. I've been many places. By the way, best fans, nicest fans, University of South Carolina.
Oh, okay.
Great fans. They understand, hey, it's a game. You cheer for your team. I'm going to cheer for my team.
It's not a game.
Okay, come
on.
on.
I mean, I'm saying for me, it's barely a game, but yeah.
Right. Well, but the bottom line is, you're not going to get punched in the nose if your team wins in their stadium. Yeah. Like what's going to happen at some other stadiums that I won't mention, Florida Field.
AT&T Park.
Yeah.
Giants fans.
Yeah. And so, or anywhere for any sport in Philadelphia. But Tiger Stadium, I spent a lot of time in Baton Rouge. Their fans, they start drinking in the morning. If the game is in the evening, that just means they're drunker. And is that a more drunker?
No, drunker.
Okay,
yeah.
Thank you. And I went to the University of Tennessee, so both of those were, if you went to Tennessee, drunker or more drunk.
Either way.
But it's an atmosphere that transcends the actual game. The tailgating, yes. But when the other team pulls up, Scotty, they rock the bus.
Yeah.
They rock the bus like at a high school game, and they throw rocks at the windows. They are throwing rocks at the bus. They're rocking the bus. They're cursing at the bus. I'm telling you, you talk about it intimidating. You can't have a better home field advantage when you have a 6'5", 320-pound person thinking, I might get killed before game time.
Yeah,
that's a home field advantage.
That's a home field advantage. All right, well, that is our top 5. Let us know if you guys think there's a better one. Eric said home games for the Eagles are pretty scary. I mean, they do throw snowballs at Santa.
Okay.
And they have their own – they were the first – I think they're the first professional stadium to have their own prison inside the stadium.
Right, and that makes sense, right? But the problem I have with that take is that it's not a home field advantage for the Eagles, because if the Eagles are bad, they treat the Eagles just like they do.
That's true, yeah.
Right? I mean, they boo their own team. They mock their own team. They throw batteries at their own team.
Yeah.
I mean, so I don't think there's a home field advantage unless they just happen to be winning. If they're losing, then, good Lord, watch out.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to lose an eye.
Yeah, that's true. All right, so we'll go into our last segment here. So we got a food suggestion. Who gave us that food suggestion to do a segment on
that?
Food?
Came from Mike McCaffrey, my good friend in Arkansas. And love you, Mike McCaffrey, my good friend. So he came up with this idea. if you had to have one meal and eat it every day the rest of your life, what would that meal be?
Yeah.
So we're going to try to have fun segments like this.
Yeah.
Non-sports related, but food related.
Yeah. Let us know if you have a favorite food. Comment on it, and we'll share it, and we'll see if we agree with you or not.
Yeah. So share yours right now while we're talking about ours. So do you want to go first? Or you want me to go first?
Oh, you go first. I'm super interested to see what you're going to say.
Mine is so easy. It's a no-brainer. I didn't even have to think about this. God has an intended purpose for the yard bird, and it is to be fried. Any other use of the chicken other than frying is something that is not in alignment with God's designed purpose for the chicken. And I find it to be anathema to chicken, to grill it, to broil it, this bird was meant by God to be fried. And so fried chicken.
Okay.
Mashed potatoes with gravy.
Okay.
Either fried okra or green beans. If I'm trying to treat my body well, I'll go with green beans.
Uh-huh.
If I'm just saying, what the heck, I'm going to die any minute anyway, I'm going fried okra. Homemade fried okra. I'm not talking about the kind you buy at Publix and it's already breaded. I'm talking about you got it out of somebody's garden and it got chopped up.
Yeah.
And then somebody's wrinkled older hands have massaged it in the flour and thrown it in an iron skillet, not deep fried.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about it's sizzling in that skillet and watching it to make sure it gets crispy but not too burnt. But fried okra, fried chicken, mashed potatoes with gravy, and biscuits with white pepper gravy and sweet tea. Every day, I'd never get tired of it.
Yeah.
I would double down. I would eat it for breakfast and dinner every day for the rest of my life, and I would never complain. You know, I know that this was not manna for the children of Israel in the wilderness. You know why? Because the children of Israel started complaining about it.
Yeah.
If God had provided them with this meal every day, they would have said,
fine.
God, you're awesome.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have said, why do you keep giving us this?
Yeah.
And so this is the meal that I would eat every day, and I would thank God for it.
Yeah.
I would say, dear Lord, thank you for this food. I would never go this again.
Yeah.
And I would and if somebody was with me that did it, I would stab them.
Yeah. All right, that's fair.
I would just stab them.
I'll go. Pretty simple, and I can eat it as many days in a row. Is pizza. I love pizza. I love every kind of pizza.
Okay,
it's so good. I'll start off. I love an antipasta salad. Start with an antipasta salad. Maybe some garlic knots. Love garlic knots. Very good. And then a pizza. Now, can I change the pizza? Like it's pizza, but can I do? Yeah. Oh yeah. Then you're doing like a Chicago deep dish one day. Then you're doing a New York slice, a grandma slice to get a Sicilian. I could do that, no doubt, every meal, every day, or even just one meal. I could do that. That's fine. Every day I could do that. And I think I would have my drink, probably like a root beer. I'm a sucker for root beer.
Okay.
I would go with root beer.
What kind of root beer? What brand?
What is the one? Have you ever been to Peg Leg Porker?
No.
In Nashville?
No.
I can't think of it.
But I feel like I should.
Mug from a can is very good, or IBC out of the bottle.
Okay.
That would be really good.
Barks root beer.
Barks is pretty good.
Mississippi,
I do like Barks.
Root beer capital of the world, Mississippi. Barks by far and away number one. IBC number two.
Yeah.
Mug is like Mad Dog 2020. MD 2020 is to wine what Mug is to root beer.
No, I really like, the worst is A&W. A&W is very bad.
Okay, that is when you're so broke that you go Mad Dog 2020 mixed with Vitalis. That is what A&W is. Okay, so now I admire your strategic thinking. That is a great move to go with pizza because I have to let you have multiple pizza. I can't just restrict you. So now you get a different meal every day, basically, because you could go deep dish.
Yeah.
What's your favorite style of pizza?
New York.
Okay.
Thin crust.
Mine's Detroit style.
Yeah,
Detroit style
is very good.
Right, it's
a thicker crust.
Detroiter,
yeah.
Yeah,
from Buddy's Pizza. You ever been to Buddy's Pizza?
Yes.
Yeah, that's so good.
So many great pizza places in Detroit. But if you haven't had Detroit pizza, What's the fast food chain that has them? It is
Little Caesars.
Not Little Caesars. They do have it, but it's not the good one. I can't think of it. Somebody can remember. It's out of Detroit, out of Michigan, and they're just starting to grow. Anyway, it's crispy on the outside and it's buttered, and then it's thick but not mushy on the inside. And then they put the toppings on top of the sauce, and then the cheese on top of the toppings. Which is strategically genius because now no toppings get left behind.
There you go.
No toppings fall off.
That's pretty good.
So that's my favorite one.
Right.
But I think pizza's a great choice by you.
Yeah.
Because I have to allow you then to be able to choose a different pizza every day.
Yeah.
So now you can change your meal up. Whereas I've got to eat the same thing, but I don't care.
Yeah.
Please,
He's
Lord,
good. Yeah.
let me live in that world. That's what's going to be. Heaven's going to be like.
Just fried chicken.
I will eat that meal,
Yeah.
and I'll look like Brad Pitt.
Yeah. There you go.
I look like Brad Pitt and eat that every day, and they're like, "He looks so good." I'm like, "I know."
All right, so let's go to the comments. Rob, it can be a meal, not just one food; it's a whole meal. And yeah, pizza's pretty good. Braden said Indian food or Chinese food. He really likes Indian food. He's pretty good.
I want to have a scientist investigate your digestive system. You know, if you're going to eat that every day, I want to know what you're working with in the intestinal tract, man. You've got to like.
All right,
the ultimate man.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, and I think if you eat it enough, you'd get used to it.
Right, your insides would turn to plastic.
Yeah. John Baker said dry rub, baby back pork ribs, French fries, vinegar-based coleslaw, cold Corona, and with water chaser. All right.
John Baker, again, a friend of mine, great choice. I love it. Well played.
Amber Williamson said fresh vegetable plate with homemade cornbread.
Okay. Cornbread saved you, Amber. Cornbread saved you. Fresh vegetables. There's no meat there. I can't go with it.
Why would you want to eat vegetables? Right. Also, my mom reminded you my mom's cherry pie.
Yes, Miss Frida's cherry pie will make you understand what is possible by humans.
I have to sit down. I think I can stand up and eat it, and my knees buckle, and I have to sit down every time.
It is so good. You don't need ice cream with it.
No.
You don't need to do anything to it. The crust is amazing. And what Miss Frida does with the cherries is, they can either be too tart or not tart enough.
Right.
She has found the happy spot between too tart and not tart enough.
Every time. It's the same, and it's perfect. God bless you, Mom. And let's see. Jocelyn said a lox bagel. She's from Australia.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know what lox are, right?
Yeah, it's the salmon. Yeah.
Yeah.
Half my family's Jewish. I know what lox and bagels.
All right. So thank you for the half Jewish perspective.
Yeah. All right. So that looks like that's all there for the comments. Thank you for commenting. Really appreciate it. Again, thanks for watching. We're about done here, and we'll post this on iTunes. We'll have that on there for you. We'll have this on YouTube if you want to watch it too. That way it has some good options there to watch it in the background while you're doing things, so you don't have to look at our wonderful faces. But yeah, you could do that. Like I said, thanks so much for watching, and we'll be back here for episode 3.
Yep. Ole Miss, rest in peace.
Oh, rest in peace, Ole Miss. All right, see you, everybody.